Going live, going live. I am live. Yay! Okay, sorry that it took so long. I did a test yesterday and it all seemed to be working fine, but then now it didn't, obviously. I always find these live chats extremely nerve wracking, especially because of this reason that it's not working and I'm just sitting here and figuring out this computer program. So let me see. I hope that you can now see me and hear me. That would be nice. I think I have to change the settings a little bit. So like that. Let me see. Okay, I see some messages coming in now. A lot of hi. Hi everybody. Welcome to the live chat. Let me see. I think I have to put a bit of a delay because it's going again very fast. That was the problem with all these other things as well. Let me change this setting a little bit. So anyway, I saw a lot of questions being asked in the post or the announcement that I was going to do this live chat. So thank you very much for those. A lot of these questions, I recognized them from being asked earlier. And I just wanted to say first that on my website, itchyboots.com, I now have a page which is called FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions. And I try to add frequently asked questions there and answer them there, so I don't have to repeat myself all the time. And because this is now the third live chat that I'm doing, and it would be a shame if we talk about the exact same things every single time, right? So a lot of the questions that I saw coming, I already answered them in either one of the previous live chats, or you can find them on itchyboots.com/FAQ. So let me see. Ahmed Kaka is saying, where are you now? I am still in Argentina. So I think it is working now, which is very nice. I see a lot of messages coming in. Oh, thank you, Gary P, for the petrol money. That's amazing. So I will just first start with a couple of questions that were asked in the announcement. And then as soon as everybody is done saying hello, hi. Oh, wow, it's really cool to read because I see an Andy Jones from North Wales. I see Sven from Germany, Ake from Sweden. It's really awesome to see all these people from all over the world. From Dubai, from... but Nomis is saying, where in Argentina? I'm not going to tell you. This is actually one topic I wanted to talk about. There was also people asking me why I never say the date in my videos. And that has to do with why I also don't say where I am at the moment. Because believe it or not, there are quite some people that are really trying to find me. Probably with the best intentions. I hope you can understand my position. And I've even had people calling to the hotels where I've been staying, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So my videos are usually somewhere between a couple of days until 1 or 2 weeks behind from where I am. And I like to keep it that way because, there are some people that are trying to figure out quite, how you say that, obsessively, where I am. That doesn't give me, I don't know. It's better if I don't say, I think. I hope you understand that. Okay, sorry, I'm laughing at some of the things being said. So let me just go through some of the questions. Steve Mota is saying, what do you do for a living to allow you this lifestyle? Making YouTube videos. I work on my blog, itchyboots.com. Every 2 weeks there is a new article where I give tips or I tell stories or anything like that. Basically, if I'm not writing, I am working pretty much around the clock to make these videos. Video editing is very time consuming. and also writing articles, and then I do a lot on social media, trying to respond and get a lot of emails and all of that. So it's I kind of work also to allow this lifestyle. Justo Garcia is saying, we love your videos at home. Thank you. Question, can you share the temperature with us when you share the time in the beginning? Trying to understand how cold or hot these places are. Thanks, safe travels. Thank you. It is a good idea. The thing is, I don't really carry a thermometer with me. I have not really any clue about the temperature. But since you know that, okay, so the videos are, say, on average about 1 week behind, and you know my location in that video, then you can find it online, I guess, or look at the weather forecast. I don't know. I don't really have an easy way to look this up or to tell you. Sorry. Jelly Klotz is saying, just in case I can't make it, what states do you plan on riding through the USA? Well, the USA is still very, very far from here. I think it will take me maybe 1 year before I reach there. So I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea about any of my real routes. I just try to figure out where I'm going to go tomorrow. And other than that, I don't really have a plan because, I have no idea when exactly I will arrive. And I just kind of do what I feel like at that moment. So I have no idea. Then a question from I saw one question. Let me see. Ignatius David is saying, hi, while driving, your camera fitted on your helmet is okay, but the windshield of the bike is seen in the video. Can you remove that windshield of the bike to have a better forward vision through the camera? I got a lot of people complaining about my windshield and even demanding that I take down my windshield. I realized that it maybe blocks the view from the camera a little bit more, and that people find it annoying, and I'm really sad to hear that. But there is a reason why I got this windshield, and that is because with the standard windshield I had the wind, exactly like turbulent wind, in my face. And I think if you are a rider, then you know how exhausting that is, especially if you ride for 8 hours per day. And it was causing me a lot of pain as well. On my trip from India to the Netherlands, I was riding with pain pretty much every day. So when I reached the Netherlands, I thought, okay, I have to find a solution for this windshield. So I bought a taller one, which only comes in that slightly tainted color. It's not available in, no color. So it is the best I could get, and it really helps me a lot. And I'm happy to say that I now ride pain-free. So, my videos are 15 minutes or something, but I am riding for 8 hours. So for me, it's really important that I ride without pain, because otherwise I don't think I'm gonna make it all the way to Alaska again if I have so much pain all the time. So I hope you understand that I will not take it down. And I did look at placing the camera on top of my helmet. So then, because I do take these things into account. If a lot of people say that they find something annoying, I do try to get a solution. So I try to have my camera on top of my helmet, but it just doesn't really work. I can't see what I'm recording. I don't really know if it's on or off, and it just has a lot of other advantages which make recording the video so much harder, that I decided that I was not gonna. And also extra wind, actually I'm catching more wind if I have the camera on top of my helmet. So I did look into that, but unfortunately this is just gonna be it. So I hope you get used to this windshield. Let me see. A lot of people are saying good luck. Thank you. Erik Olijarczyk says, I just want to say, love your videos. Thank you for what you're doing. Quick questions. Out of all the places you've been, what's your favorite place? Always one of the hardest questions. If I think now on this trip, since I started in Argentina, I think you can already guess what my favorite place was, and that was El Cabo Raso. I loved that place. Even though there was nothing there, or maybe that was why I loved it so much. But yeah, for now that's definitely, or was my favorite place. 77 Archibald is saying, "Don't worry, the windshield is just fine. Does not spoil the videos." Thank you. Let me see. Amer Limbu says you need 360 rotating mount so that you can turn back to shoot behind you. Yeah, also about the camera stuff, there's people saying that I have to have a 360 degree camera, and I need to have a camera with a big zoom lens for the wildlife. So there's a couple of things I want to say about that. About the zoom lens with the wildlife, I agree that on the GoPro it's pretty bad. Like, you can barely see the animals that I was seeing. But there's a couple of things on the first trip. So when I was going from India to the Netherlands, in the beginning I had a big how do you call that? DLR? No, a big camera with me with a big zoom lens. But the thing is, I barely use it. Only to take a picture of wildlife, for example. But to be honest, it is quite rare. And on this side of Argentina, yes, there's a lot of wildlife, but that's not gonna be the entire journey. So on that first trip, I barely used it, and these cameras are big, heavy, and very fragile. So I don't carry gear or equipment with me that I only use very rarely. So I always look, okay, everything that I'm dragging with me, I should use it either most of the time, or it should be extremely important in some kind of emergency, but not just for one nice shot or something like that. For that, I need a trailer or something. But I'm traveling on a motorbike, and it's very important to try to travel light. So I really go through every single item that I have with me regularly. I go through it and I think, do I use it? Yes or no? If not, I am gonna get rid of it, because I don't want to drag around stuff that I don't really need. And another thing is that big zoom cameras, I mean, a GoPro is about this big, and it can go 10 times into a big zoom camera. So yeah, all in all, there's, for different situations, there are different cameras that are good. But I just invested in several GoPros now. And yeah, I can't keep on buying cameras all the time because they're very expensive. So yeah, unfortunately, this is what I have now, and I'm not gonna shop for another camera. I think very soon there will not be any wildlife anymore, or well, there will be, but not so obvious. So I think it will not be such a big deal anymore, or at least I hope so. So yeah, I hope you can understand that I cannot have all this equipment with me. Yeah, because I already carry a lot of equipment. Okay, let's go back to here. Joe Cornish says, by the way, love the drone shots. You're really getting good at those. The recent drone footage was amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, flying the drone is still, I find it pretty scary. Recently I flew it, that video is not out yet, but I flew it over sea, over water, and I was like, oh, please don't crash in the water. Please don't crash. Yeah, I'm still practicing. There's a lot more stuff you can do with the drone. But yeah, I can't do it all the time because, especially here in Patagonia, it's super windy. So yeah, it's very difficult to fly it. It just goes goes like that. I've tried it a couple of times, and then the footage is not usable because the drone is flying all over the place. And it's just quite time consuming to fly the drone. So some days when I just have to cover some distance, I can't stop all the time to fly it. But I really do my best, and yeah, I agree. It makes some really nice footage. Oh yeah, somebody asked me, now I can't remember who asked me that, but it was also about the drone, how I solved the controller problem. Because on my last trip, I lost the controller of the drone. I solved that by buying a new drone. So this is not the same drone as I had on the trip with Basanti. I invested in this new one because it has better quality. Now I can record in 4K on the drone, and the other one I couldn't. And I found that was a big difference between the GoPro footage and the drone footage. So I thought, okay, I'm going to invest in a new drone which can record in 4K. So that's that one. Pistonhead says, "Do you miss Basanti?" Question mark, question mark, question mark. You know, without change, there wouldn't be butterflies. So, it's time to move on. Let me see. Jack Curry says, "My daughter, who is 10, follows you, and she says you're so inspirational to her." That's really amazing to hear. Thanks a lot, Jack. All right. Then one of the questions that was asked to me earlier, Mark O'Brien was saying, after your first trip, was it hard for you to be back in normal everyday life? Not to ride your bike, to have crowds of people around you? Well, I didn't really go back to normal life. The time I spent in the Netherlands, I mostly spent it preparing Dhanno. It took quite some time to get everything ready. So yeah, and getting a visa for the United States. So most of the time I was actually already busy with this trip. And for the rest of the time I was visiting friends, family. So it wasn't really normal everyday life, but yeah, it was very weird to be back. It was weird because I've been away for 1 year then. And then your second question was, can you imagine to do this trip without the internet? No. Well, yeah, what I said before, without the internet I wouldn't be able to pay for this trip because I need the YouTube income. Yeah, what I said before, in that place El Cabo Raso, where there was no internet and there was no telephone, there was nothing, it was, it was great, to be honest. And I felt very in the moment there, and I wasn't looking at my phone the whole time, and just being in the moment. And maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. So it's kind of like, the internet is great, but it's also nice to have no internet sometimes. Mark Kush says, will you upload a video today? No. So this live chat is instead of the video that I was planning. So that will be in 2 days from now. Will be the next video. Sorry about that. Vote Nistad says, why are all the cities in Argentina you're passing are so empty? Where are the people? Well, maybe that looks like on the videos, but they're not so empty. But obviously when I left Buenos Aires, I pretty much went straight down towards Patagonia, and this is one of the least populated areas of Argentina. So in the north of Argentina there's bigger cities and definitely a lot more people. So this, the way I've been riding is not really representative of the entire country, but this is not the end of my ride in Argentina yet. When I go back up north, I will explore the north of Argentina as well. So we will see then how that looks. Okay. Next question from 10 Susan 10. Unfortunately, I'll probably be on the operating table for some minor heart surgery while you're doing this. So hoping you watch your answer posted later. I really hope it goes well. So sad to hear that you need to have heart surgery. Your question was why I don't carry a tent, cooking ability, and that kind of stuff. Well, I'm actually working on a blog post for my website, which will be published probably next month. And there I talk about how I find accommodation, why I don't camp, and all that sort of thing. So I'm writing it all out for you. So if you have patience, then you can read it all there. Oh, I don't know. I see an error. I hope it's still going all right and you can still see me. And the second question that you had was why I always wear a scarf covering this part of my face. I do that because if I don't, there's always a little bit of wind coming from underneath the helmet and passing past your nose, and I hate that. I really do not like that. Secondly, it also protects me from dust and sand, which is nice, but it's mostly that little bit of wind that normally comes from underneath your helmet, which I really dislike. So for me, it doesn't matter if it's hot or if it's cold. Whenever I'm riding, I wear it, and maybe at some point even, when you get so used to it and having it as your normal gear, that it makes me very uncomfortable if I don't wear it for some reason. So yeah, I will keep on doing that. We see you. Okay, good. Yeah, my connection seems to be from here seems to be a little bit bad for some reason, but okay. I hope you can still see me well. Oh, Ranch says, my wife Melly and I love the videos. Have watched every single one. Cheers and ride safe. Thank you so much. That's really nice to hear. Oh yeah, Robert Polkamp says, how will you cross the Darien Gap? This is a question that also a lot of people have been asking me. The Darien Gap is between Colombia and Panama. And this is not my first time in Latin America. On another time, that was not on a motorbike, but I've already traveled from Mexico down to Patagonia and back up. I did that in 10 months, and so that time I've traveled through every single country in Central America and South America that I'm gonna go through now. So none of these countries I'm traveling until the United States are new to me. I've all been there before. I've also worked in some of these countries, so I'm quite familiar. And anyway, in that time, I also crossed the Darien Gap. That time I went from Panama to Colombia, and I did it by a sailboat. Right now, I have no idea what I will do if I try to catch a boat again, or if I fly. Definitely riding is not possible. So yeah, either have to take a boat or you have to fly. But yeah, same what I said about the States. It will take so long before I'm there, so I don't worry about these type of things until I'm pretty close. So I'll see it when I get there. Broken Bear says 2,000 watching. Where's the likes, guys? Oh wow, 2,000 people. Okay, I'm really trying to read everything and see all your messages, but it's a little bit difficult sometimes. Red tape. Okay. Silver Arrow says, what did you work as in South America? This is actually also explained on my about page on itchyboots.com. I worked for a international dredging company at that time. So yeah, they put me in Ecuador, Argentina. I worked a long time in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. I also regularly get people asking me why I didn't come to Brazil, and that's also one of the reasons that the south part of Brazil, so from Rio de Janeiro down south, I've worked there. I lived in Rio de Janeiro for about 9 months, and I've explored that part thoroughly already. I've been many times to Brazil, so that was also one of the reasons why I didn't go there this time, and it also made more sense to ship to Buenos Aires. So that was also another reason. Okay. Oh yeah, Robert Barrow says, is there a difference between the old and the new bike? No, there's no difference between, oh yeah, technically there are differences between the Indian version and the European version, but those are not differences that you notice as a rider. To me, they ride exactly the same, so it's not really a noticeable difference. Yeah, so, Kill Fat Kids, that's not a very nice name, says, can you do something to cut down on wind noise while you talk and ride? So with that one, I am riding now in one of the windiest places on earth. And yeah, I think the setup with the helmet and the mic is pretty okay. But at some point with so much wind, it's like, yeah, talking in a microphone in a hurricane, if you can imagine. I can't just at some point you can't do anything anymore. It is going to be wind noise. So hopefully when I leave this windy part, it will become better again. But yeah, if you're basically riding in a storm, then unfortunately there's going to be some wind noise. Oh, and a Hungarian viewer I saw. Okay, let's go back to some of the other questions. Michael Pevin asked me, how are you requesting visa? For many countries we should request before in time, but you are asking on the spot. Is it okay to ask like that? That's not really true. You're right. No, if you require a visa for a country and you cross via a land border, then it's pretty much never possible to get a visa at the border. Sometimes if you fly into a country, then you can buy a visa on arrival at an airport. On land borders, it's almost never possible. But I have a Dutch passport, and the whole of South and Central America I can just enter without needing a visa. They just stamp the passport, and usually I get 3 months. For example, Argentina, I get 3 months visa free. So that's the reason. So if you are traveling, then always check the visa requirements for your nationality, because that differs. So it's not for everybody like that. Some people do need visa for Argentina, for example. But for me, the United States is the first country on this trip where I need a visa. And in that case, I already arranged it when I was in the Netherlands, especially because this time it was very difficult for me to get the visa because I traveled into Iran. And then they're a little bit edgy about that. Let me see. Lioman86 says, hi. Oh, now it's gone. Hi, Norley. Oh, where was it now? It was something about National Geographic, but I couldn't see it. Let me go through the next question. Yes, Scott Bordelon asked me, are you planning on riding to Dead Horse in Alaska? Are you going to fly out of Alaska back home? So this is actually the same answer. I have absolutely no idea. I don't know where I'm gonna go in Alaska, how I'm gonna end or anything like that. It is so far away. I'm traveling quite a bit slower on this trip. Some of you probably already noticed. So I mean, I've now been on the road for 1 month and I've only traveled from Buenos Aires down south. So I will reach Alaska in about 1.5 years. So that's kind of the extent of this trip. It's a really long trip and I'm spending a lot more time really exploring everything and not just rushing through. So I really don't worry about where I'm going to be in 1.5 years. It's just way too far. So I'll just see it when I get there. That's kind of my plan. Let me see. Oh, see, Jeff Locks says, I like the wind noise. In your case, it lets the viewer get a better sense of your experience. Yeah, I guess maybe that's true. Let me see. Colin here on the west coast of Canada. Nice to see. Thomas K says, do you know that there are no roads in Antarctica, so your next trip will be to Australia? Don't really understand what you mean with that. I'm not gonna go to Antarctica. I did look into it because from Ushuaia there are boats going to Antarctica and it's obviously amazing, but it is extremely expensive. Even if you get a last minute, you get 50% discount and it's still very, very expensive. And yeah, you can question also about, yeah, I don't know. You can't bring your bike. Oh, there's somebody who brought a bike to Antarctica, but yeah, there's no road. So I think this person could ride 50 meters on some gravelly beach and that was it. And yeah, that's not really my plan. That's not really what I want to do. Nobby Trail says, good luck from a fellow Himalayan rider. Why did you choose that bike? That's also a question that I answer on itchyboots.com/FAQ. So please read it there because I've answered that one a couple of times. And let me see, I had one more good question. Icaro Itabira says, hey, what's up? How are you dealing with the local food? Do you have an international health insurance? On the local food in Argentina, I'm struggling a little bit, as you've seen on my videos. Struggling with the siesta that they do midday. Everything is closed. The breakfasts are small, and the dinners are late. Anyway, I'm struggling a little bit. I do miss, in this case, Asia a little bit. Somebody else asked me that what I miss about Asia, and that is in India and Southeast Asia, there is street food everywhere, and it was always so easy to find food, and that is a little bit more difficult around here. So that's why I'm now carrying food with me most of the time, and yeah, that's something that I never did before. But here I kind of have to, otherwise I'm starving. So I'm struggling a little bit with that. But and about the international health insurance, yes, of course, I have an international health insurance. I think you should always have that if you travel abroad. Even kijken. Timbuktu Moto says perhaps some words on the tank bag. As a backpack when fueling in the rain, other thoughts. I also have a Himalayan and keen to hear how you like having a tank bag as well. That's a good question. I had a tank bag very briefly on my previous trip. I had a small Kriega bag which I used, and I didn't like it, so I got rid of it very quickly. And mostly because I found it very annoying that when you get gas that you have to take it off, and it's annoying. And it didn't really add anything to me. But now, this tank bag that I have now, that's a Moscow Moto tank bag. And I picked that one because before I was riding with this hydration pack, I had my water on my back, and that also caused me pain, and I had shoulder pains, and I didn't want to carry like 2 liters of water on my back anymore. And this tank bag has an integrated camel bag. So that's why I thought, oh, this is a really good option for me. And since I have that, I have no more pain. Well, also in combination probably with the windshield. I mean, there's a couple of things I have different now. I also have a different seat. I have the touring seat, which also makes a difference. So it's a combination of a couple of things, I think. It's the windshield, another seat, another handlebar, and no more weight on my back. I think it's a combination of all those things that make a big difference. So yeah, you have to take it off when you're fueling. I still find that annoying, but that's with any tank bag. But for me, it outweighs the advantages of having my water over there, and also have enough space to keep things which are easily accessible to me. So yeah, I really like it actually now this time around, and I wouldn't want to ride without a tank bag anymore at this moment. So yeah, I like it. Let me see. Failsale says, do you do any research before your off-road stretches in Colombia? Blah blah. Yeah, of course. I mean, I always have a lot of people worried about my safety, which is of course really nice, and I think a lot of people are very involved with my trip, which I think is absolutely amazing. But I just want to say that I follow the news every single day. I'm even a little bit obsessed, I think, with checking the news. I've always been like that for a very long time, that I always want to know what's going on in the world. So I'm pretty well connected, I think, with what's going on in the world. And what did I want to say now? Yeah, so I usually have a pretty good feeling on where are places where I can easily go off-road or not. So for example, where I'm riding now in Patagonia, it's perfectly fine to try tracks and go off-road. In other countries, for example, when I was riding in Iran, I barely did that because I felt like maybe this is not the right place to do so. So I always judge on what's going on, what type of country I am in, and usually I get a feeling pretty quickly, yeah, a feeling saying, okay, I can do it here, or I better not. Yeah, that's it. I think probably a lot of, yeah, I mean, for example, I will be crossing into Chile soon, and yes, I know about the problems that are in Chile at the moment. They are not where I'm gonna go now, so yeah, those are always things that I do take into consideration. I'm not searching for places which are better not to visit at that time, but yeah, how to say that, the situation also changes often. So what was the case last week might not be the case this week. So I always kind of make my decisions. That's why I make my decisions also last minute, just to take into account what is the weather, what's the situation, all these type of things. So I think that's also one of the reasons why planning a trip like that doesn't really make sense, because you always want to be able to make changes according to what's going on where. Greg Ferris says, do you check the local traffic laws ahead of time? That I don't really do. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you go into a one-way street by mistake. But yeah, so most of the traffic rules are pretty the same. For example, I mean, I know that, for example, in the USA, it's not allowed to filter through traffic. But you know, rules like that change a little bit. But usually, I think as a tourist, you can make a mistake and get away with it the first time often, because yeah, you simply can't know everything, and I really don't have time to try and study every single rule in every country. But to be honest, most of the time the rules are pretty similar. So yeah, I think it's okay. um, okay, let's check. Oh, thank you for the cake, Perkelanatori, I think. Okay, let's go to the next question. This is also one. Atul Sinahal said, which apps do you use for your travel purpose, like locating hotels to stay, petrol stations, plotting routes? That's also one thing that I'm working on in a blog post, where I extensively write about the apps that I use and tips and tricks and that kind of stuff. So keep an eye on my website. That will be much better than giving a brief answer now. I've already answered that one. Visa questions. Oh yeah, Gail Messer said, that was about my seat. I have heard via second hand that it was an aftermarket seat. Is it better than the one on your other bike? No, it is not an aftermarket seat. The seat I have now is the Royal Enfield touring seat. So it's not aftermarket. It's official seat. And yes, it is a lot better. A lot. I really wish I had this seat on the first trip, because there I was suffering a little bit. And yeah, it makes a huge difference. Now, after one full day of riding, I have no pain and it's still comfortable. So yeah, that makes a huge difference. Mr. Burring says, will you marry me for your Dutch passport? Lol? Seriously? Yeah. Parameswara Prasad Narne says, hi Norlie, please give the drone details that you are using. Your footage is awesome. I'm using the DJI Mavic Air at the moment. But also for this one, all the gear that I'm using, the clothes, everything is also on my website. So if you have any questions about the stuff that I'm using, you can find it there as well. Pradeep Kumar says, how are you coping with the weight of the bike? Much better now, because Dhanno is so much lighter than Basanti, and that was really one of the things that I tried very hard to improve from the last time. Try to reduce on weight. That's why I chose for soft luggage instead of rack with panniers, and a top box and everything. So the way that I'm set up now, the bike is a lot lighter, and it just makes a really big difference, especially off-roading. Now it doesn't feel like I'm riding with a super heavily loaded bike, and yeah, for me that's so worth the the change of the whole setup that I drive a lot lighter. So I think that, yeah, that turned out really well. I can really notice the difference. Yeah, and especially off road, and that's for me the most important, because on road it doesn't really matter so much the weight. I find you really start noticing it when you ride off road, and yeah, yeah, that worked out really well. Oh, Woo12 says we couldn't stop laughing with you when you were filling with petrol at the Camarones petrol station. We weren't quite sure what about, but it was a funny situation. Yeah, I was laughing because the man who was filling up, he was all the time, he was like peeking at me, but like very secretive. So you can see his eyes going like, trying to look at me without me noticing. And yeah, I just burst out laughing. It was just a funny situation. Jeremy says, which navigation system is the most reliable so far? I don't really know what you mean, because I haven't tried too many different ones. I still have my Garmin GPS, where I put OpenStreetMaps on, and then I use Maps.me app for navigation. Yeah, they're both good. I haven't really found mistakes or things that weren't correct or anything like that. So those work fine for me. Isan Niazi says, what will be your next journey after Patagonia to Alaska? I have no idea. What I said before, it will be a year and a half before I reach there. Maybe I'm sick and tired of it. Maybe not. I have absolutely no idea. So yeah, I'll just see it when we get there and come up with a new plan. Ah yeah, Ian Frew says, how long before you need new tires? Oh, now it's gone. I don't know exactly. Probably another month or something. Probably another 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers, something like that. For now, they still look fine, so not worrying about that too much yet. Although it is actually a good point, because I don't want to drag around spare tires anymore. Also, talking about the whole weight thing, dragging around spare tires with you is extremely exhausting and a little bit annoying. So hopefully I'll just arrive in a spot. By the time I need new tires, I arrive in a spot where I can get tires. That's basically just what I'm hoping for at the moment. But yeah, I'll see when it gets closer to the point that they almost need to be replaced. Then I'll just see, okay, can I reach a place or not, or do I have to buy them now and drag them around a little bit? I'll just see it when it's time, I guess. Let me see. Oh, Piyush Mishra says, hi Norali, what's your playlist of songs while riding? It varies a lot. I have, what's it called, Spotify, and I listen to a whole bunch of music. I really like Queen. I listen to, yeah, different playlists. I don't know, just really different stuff most of the time. Although I do have to say, I don't always, when I do off-road, I don't always listen to music. For me, the music is more important if I ride on paved road and it's really boring or something, then I really need the music to keep on going. But whenever I ride off-road, I never get bored for some reason, even though the landscape might not be very interesting for me. When I'm off-road, I'm always focused, and my mind never wanders. I'm always focused on the road. So then sometimes I don't listen to music and just, yeah, listen to the sounds of the engine and wind. Talking about tires. Leo says, what do you think about electric motorbikes? I have no opinion about it. The only thing I know is that you can't do the trip that I'm doing now on an electric motorbike unless you are the guys from the long way around and have 3 support trucks with massive batteries and stuff. But if you want to do it by yourself, I think it's pretty impossible at the moment. Yeah, maybe in some countries it may be possible. I've never ridden an electric bike. I think I would really miss the sound of the engine, and the feeling. But yeah, but maybe I would like. I don't know. I've never tried it. Global Lotus says Patreon account. You need to open one so we can support you. Yeah, the Patreon thing. Obviously I looked into it, but the problem is that, or at least the way I understand Patreon, is that you have to promise things in return. So it's like, okay, you give this much money, and then I will give you this in return. And the problem is that I would not know how to do more. It's just keeping up with the videos every other day, and the website and the social media. I'm working all the time, so I wouldn't know how to promise doing even more. And also the problem what I find is that if I promise those things, then you have to do it. Whereas sometimes I don't have so much internet, or there's another reason why I can't do it at that time, and then I would feel really bad and probably stressed that now I cannot fulfill this thing. So that's why I don't see. Yeah, I wouldn't know how that would work. Yeah. So what did I want? I wanted to say something else about that. Somebody asked me a question. Oh yeah. I can't remember who asked me that question. No, now I forgot it again. Oh, what was it now? About. What was it about now? I really can't remember. It will come back to me. It will come back to me. Oh yeah, Francesco Tecchetto says, what happened to the Welsh cake? Good question. I ate it and it was delicious, but it was the reason why I didn't record it, because it got smushed a little bit on the bike, and I didn't have cutlery, so I kind of had to go for it with my hands, and it wasn't a very pleasant sight. So I really enjoyed it, but it was really not meant for video. But it was a delicious cake. Oh, the chat is disconnected. How is it possible? Unable to connect to chat. That is weird. I don't know if you can see me now still. Maybe I should just keep on talking just in case. Let me see. No, it's still not going. Oh, this is a problem. Okay, I'll just keep on talking. Josef Meno says, who is editing the videos? Me! Yeah, I had somebody else ask me if I send all the raw footage to somebody else who makes the videos. No, that wouldn't even be possible, trust me. In many places I struggle forever to upload a video, which is usually about between 1 and 2 gigabytes. So sending raw footage by internet somewhere else, that would never be possible to keep on producing all this content. But also I wouldn't want that, because I think in the editing process, that's how, you really create the video the way you want it. So no, I do it myself. Okay, I think there really is a problem, because I can't see the chat anymore, or the live chat. Let me see. Pop out. Oh, no. Is it back? Can somebody say something? Oh, I think it's still working. Okay, it's still coming. It's coming. Okay, very good. Jeff Valenta says, would you do a motorcycle tour of Africa? Maybe, but yeah, why not? I don't know. Sounds amazing. But first, let's just finish this one. Oh, now now, okay, now everything goes again. Very good. Oh yeah, Butch Book says make live streams more often, please. Yeah, I know. You have no idea how long it took me to gather the courage to do this one again because, yeah, I don't know. I just find it kind of nerve wracking to do this type of stuff. Because in my videos, if I do too much like I can edit it out, but now I can't. So yeah, I'm just a bit nervous for these type of things. So, but okay, maybe I'll try. I'll try to do it once a month again. But okay. And let me see. Yeah, John Hewitt says we had to wait a long time before we got a geology fast from you. Yeah, I know. This is also one of those things. Sometimes I have the feeling that it doesn't matter what I say, and I always get people telling me that I'm saying it wrong, I'm doing it wrong, and with the geology thing, I was like, yeah, if I say something, then of course there's people gonna be like, no, it's not like that because geology is not an exact science. So even geologists among themselves never agree on everything. So it's, I don't know if I want to go there, but now it just came out. So I guess, yeah, I should just say whatever I feel like. But sometimes, yeah, I do struggle with that a little bit because, yeah. People always say don't read the comments or don't mind the negative comments or don't give the haters so much attention. But yeah, I just struggle with it a little bit. I just want everybody, yeah, to, I don't know. Okay, let's just continue. Cars and Guitar says, I think you are much more engaging live. Embrace the fear. Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe I should just embrace the fear. Yeah. Michael Petty says, do you have a support team of any kind? No. My parents sometimes help with moderating, like deleting evil comments or something like that. But no. And there's also not a support truck following me around. Pictures I usually take with my tripod, and flying the drone while I'm riding. I probably shouldn't say this because people are very worried, but you have this follow me thing on the drone, but in my experience it doesn't really work so well a lot of the time. So what I do most of the time is I ride with one hand and then fly the drone with the other hand. So yeah, that seems to work fine. Peter Lindstrom says, will you try eating cuy? I believe that's guinea pig. I already tried that once in Peru years ago. I don't think I'm going to try it again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Victor Mireles, will you travel through the American West or swing east again? I don't really know. I'll probably... Okay, no, I do know a little bit. The only thing I know is that I do want to spend several months in the United States. I really want to make a big tour. I don't want to cross straight up towards Canada because I actually have never really explored the United States. I've only been to New York. That's it. So I really want to spend several months riding around there. But where I will go exactly, I have no idea. It depends on the season as well. Yeah, Francesco says, do you usually have proper dinner or lunch is your main meal? Yeah, at this moment, it's just whenever I can get my hands on some food, I'll eat it. It's just a bit difficult at the moment. Yeah, Frank Hastad says, which video editing program you use? At this moment, I'm using Final Cut Pro, which is much more professional than what I used before. Before I used Filmora, which was very cheap and easy to use, and it was great to start out with making videos. But it was very time consuming to use that program, so I thought I have to step up my game a little bit and invest in a better program or in a program which is faster and I can do more things in it. But it's a more complicated program. It's also more expensive. But yeah, I figured now this is how I'm trying to make a living with these videos. So I should, try to do that. So when I was in the Netherlands, I spent quite some time practicing with this video editing software. I'm still nowhere near any professional, but yeah, it's I like this program. It's nice. Yeah. TL says, do you have a lot of video footage that you do not use? Could you make a more expensive video at a later date? Not really, actually. Because I try not to record hours every day, because just the more you record, the more huge files you have that you all need to store somewhere. It takes longer to go through them for the video editing, so everything just takes longer the more you record. So to be honest, I don't really have so much extra footage, and sometimes I think about it. I think I should record things and not put them in the video so I can use them in a later stage and have like surprise footage, but I just never really managed to do that. So yeah, it would be great, but I don't know, it's not happening for me. Oh, I think something went wrong again with this thing. Ah, yeah. Jane Hanna says, hi, a few months ago you asked for people to translate your vlog. Have you sorted it out? That's a good thing. I've been doing some experimenting with the subtitles. I have had a lot of people submitting subtitles, and I want to thank you very much for that. So a lot of my videos now have subtitles in all different languages. But the problem I had is that when people submit subtitles, they will not appear immediately after a video is released. So I would get a lot of people like, where are the subtitles, who want to view the video immediately after it comes out. Plus, I have to approve all these subtitles. And you will not believe, but it's so time consuming. And I also cannot do that immediately after people submit it, because sometimes I'm writing the whole day. So there's also a delay in that. So I was thinking this is not really working out. So what I'm doing now is I put English subtitles now. So if you have difficulties understanding what I'm saying during the videos, you can switch the English subtitles on now. And that's also very time consuming, but okay, I think this is really worth it, because then you have the English subtitles and I can auto translate those subtitles into any language that I want. And so those are basically Google translated subtitles. And I know sometimes there will be mistakes and it's not super pretty, but I think it will do the job. It's kind of effective. I think you'll understand it better. And that also means that those subtitles are there immediately after the video is released. You can see those. The only problem with that is that you cannot edit it. So people cannot improve those subtitles. YouTube, please don't ask me. But I hope this is kind of working out. So actually, if there is a language in which you really like to have these subtitles, then let me know somewhere in the comments, because then I can just add those. So if you say, oh, please add the ones in, I don't know, French or whatever, then let me know, because now I'm doing, I don't know, 8 different ones, which I know that people frequently ask for. Anyways, this was a really long story. What about your wedding video? Weird. Yeah, GeoBest says, do you speak Turkish? No, I don't. Oh yeah, somebody asked me, wait, where can I see that? Who asked me that one? Somebody asked me, oh yeah, Avidan Kalina, something like that, asked me, how many languages do you know or speak? Oh, where did it go now? Let me say that on high school I had 7 languages. So in high school they taught me Dutch, English, German, French, a little bit of Spanish, Latin, and Old Greek. Now, I really cannot say that I'm fluent in all these languages, but it did help to learn others. And I properly learned Spanish when I was in Guatemala. I lived there with the family for quite some time, and I had Spanish classes. And then, I traveled in Latin America for 10 months and worked there again. So my Spanish is okay-ish. And then I learned Portuguese when I was in Brazil, spoke Portuguese. And then I know a few words. When I was working in Kazakhstan, I learned quite some Russian, but then I forgot everything again. And then the thing is that usually when you meet people on the road, they always ask the same questions. So it's always, where are you from? Where are you going? Are you traveling alone? Like those type of questions. So usually you don't need to know a language very well to just kind of guess what they're saying and just answer the first couple of questions, and it looks like you are amazing in this language, but in reality you're not really. So maybe I'm cheating a little bit in that sense, that I know usually what people want to ask me and how I should answer that, and that's it. So I'm really not fluent in all those languages. How long have I been talking? Okay. I think I'll just go for another 15 minutes, and then I think... Oh no, I did start a little bit late. Okay, anyway, let's see if there's some more interesting questions coming up. Arun Kumar says, intermittent interruptions on this live chat video. Please sort it out. I'm sorry. I have no idea how to sort it out. It's probably my internet connection, which is not working so well. Oh, wait. Reis Enduro Antour says, you speak German, say something. Wie geht's? Rix GTR 1400 says, do you still have Basanti? No! Please watch the video Big News or read on the frequently asked questions the story about Basanti. Stefan Romari says, petrol, have you run out yet and needed your extra cans of go-go juice? Yep, twice so far. The petrol stations in Patagonia are pretty far apart, and it was mostly when I was riding on paved road and the wind was extremely strong and I was riding a little bit fast. Yeah, then your efficiency goes down so much. And yeah, then I use my extra petrol cans. I wouldn't actually... Yeah, probably if I would have been a little bit more careful, I wouldn't even have needed the extra ones. But I knew, okay, I carry 6 extra liters, so yeah, it was fine. It hasn't been a problem yet, but I've used it twice. Duranger Singh, why the channel name Itchy Boots? Also on that frequently asked questions on my website. Hussein Ghulam says, your helmet will be a good place to put a logo of some sponsor company. I don't have sponsor companies. And yeah, I don't know. To be honest, people seem to react very strongly to sponsors and that kind of stuff. Or I mean, yeah, so I have... This is also something that I've talked before, and it's also on the frequently asked questions. I have some companies that sponsor me in terms of gear, for example, but not in money. And I think that's fine, because I don't want to work for a company in that sense. I quit my job and now I'm independent and I like to keep that way. Suma S says, have you had any accidents? No crashes. GC's Journey says, one of my first experience, I drove 20 feet up a big oak tree. How did you do that? Anyway. Oh, thank you, Sabolsnagi, for wishing me a safe tour and a wide road. Uh, uh, William Kralle says, how do you get the drone to fly along with you while you're riding your bike? So, yeah, I just mentioned that I put the drone up in the air, start riding with my right hand, throttle hand, and then with the left hand, I fly the drone. That's also nice to have the tank bag, actually, because now I attach the controller on the tank bag so it can't fall off. And then so I can just fly it, and if I need my left hand, I just release it and grab the handlebar again. So that's not really a big deal. Yeah, Alex. No, it went. Alex something said. Oh yeah, Alex Aheste says, hi Nori, do you have any time pressure or did have on the last episode because sometimes you just make kilometer? No, not really. But the thing is, I try to travel slowly, but where I am now, the distances are just really big, and sometimes there are stretches where there is absolutely nothing to see, nothing to do, no place to stay. So yeah, then I just cover a bigger part. But no, I don't have a time rush or anything. I actually just try to travel slower because I didn't want to arrive all the way in the south too soon in the season, because it's now starting to become summer around here, but it's still pretty cold. Bill McFarlane says, don't leave the controller behind again. I'll try not to do that again. A Wanderer says, would you recommend Bagage Dominer for a trip like yours? I have no idea. I don't know anything about that bike. I only know Ducati Monster and Royal Enfield Himalayan. That's it. So I have no idea. Yeah, John Hewitt says, doesn't your drone have tracking mode? Yes, but that sounds nicer than it is, and it has some limitations as well. So you can't do everything with tracking mode if you can if you fly it manually. Florian asks, how do you like your new helmet compared to the old one? Much better. This helmet obviously catches a little bit more wind because I have the sun protection, but it is so much more. How to say it? It's designed for what I'm using it for. Let's say like that. My previous helmet was a race helmet, and it had very poor ventilation and no sun protection. And now that is so much better. I'm not squinting anymore against the sun, and it's ventilating so much better. So yeah, I'm really happy with this helmet. What dates will you go through Guatemala? From Juan Jorge Gisbert. No idea. When I get there, I'll get there. But yeah, what I said before, it will probably be many months from now before I reach that area. Oh yeah, TL says, have you been handing out stickers, leaving a trail of them? I completely forget about that all the time. I have some stickers with me, but it's not really in my system to do that. So I kind of keep on forgetting that. It's good that you mentioned that. Peter West says, do you wear earplugs? Yes, I do. Actually, in the next video, it's funny that you say that now, because in the next video, I'm quite randomly talking about them. I have earplugs which are made for my ears, so the ones where they put like this stuff in your ear and then you get custom made ones. And I'm talking about this in the next video because the ones I have, you can change the filter which is inside, and I have 3 different filters with me. And because of the strong wind, I am now having the best filter, the strongest filter in to protect my ears, because wind noise, that's really horrible for your ears and really can cause a lot of damage. Let me see. Scott Freeman says, are you planning to ride through Chile? Yes, very soon. JG says, do you cut your own hair while on the road? Why? Does it not look good? No, at this moment, I used to do that before on big travels. I used to cut it myself. When my hair was long, I cut it myself. Now that it's shorter, I can't really do that without making it look really horrible. So I do go to a hairdresser sometimes. Not too often, but sometimes. Dwayne Correa says, first aid kit. Yes, I have a basic first aid kit with me. Haven't used it yet on this trip. Brett Congelton says, can we buy your stickers? Yes, you can. I'm making almost no money with it. I think for one sticker, I get 10 cents. But anyway, it's not about that. It's just so you can get stickers. And you can find them on my website there on the sidebar. You can see a link to buy them. So go to itchyboots.com and get the stickers. Yeah. Ian Porter, you should tour Wales one day. Yeah, one day. Sajeev Krishnan says, is there any official flag of start from Patagonia to Alaska? No. I mean, yeah, obviously I named this trip Patagonia to Alaska, and then I started in Buenos Aires and I'm first going down south. Like, it all doesn't really make so much sense, but saying from Buenos Aires to Alaska doesn't really sound so nice. But no, there's not an official anything. I just ride. Ralph Fail Lucas says, is it possible that we can also hear the music that you are listening to while riding? Not really, because I can't just use any music on my videos, because then you get copyright strikes or they demonetize your videos. So the music that I use, I pay for the licensing, otherwise you get into trouble. And the music that I listen to on Spotify, obviously I don't have the license to use that on YouTube, so unfortunately not. Haki says, are you keeping an eye on all the unrest in Latin America at the moment? What I said before, I always follow the news every day, and I always, I think I'm pretty aware of what's going on where, so you don't need to worry about it. A lot of people are always warning me about these things, but I do watch the news, of course, so it will be fine, I'm sure. Especially where I'm going to go now in Chile, there's nothing going on there, so don't have to worry about that. Jay's GP, what about a GPS spot tracker so we can follow you? Yeah, so that's what I talked about before as well. It's not a good idea unless you want to have, I think, people rocking up to try and locate me in the video, so not a good idea. On my website, again, you can follow kind of my trip, but that's always a little bit behind as well. But there I map out on Google Maps kind of the route that I'm taking, so you can see it there as well. Why don't you go camping? Hotels might get expensive. This is also one thing that I explain in depth in one of the blog posts that I'm working on. It really starts sounding now like that every question that you ask me, I'm saying, please look at the website, please look at the website. Please look at the website. Let's see. Yeah, Kan Yilmaz says, "Hi Norlie, have you ever tried couch surfing on the road?" I did couch surfing many years ago, but it's kind of the same as Airbnb. Okay, but then free. The thing is with these things that you can't just rock up somewhere. You have to talk to the people, make agreements, and then say, okay, that time I'll be there and that kind of stuff. And for me, that's just not really possible with the way I travel. I like to be able to change my plan every second if I want to or if I have to. So, and with those type of things, you really have to set it all up front. So I only, if I know that I will be staying in the city, for example, for a longer period of time, sometimes I use Airbnb. But normally I just prefer to be able to rock up in a place and be like, okay, I'm going to stay here. That's so much easier for me. Yeah. Eel Ellen says, "Where are you planning to spend your Christmas?" I have no idea. I hope it will be in a place nice. Last year I spent Christmas in Myanmar, and that was nice because then I was with a group of people. I have absolutely no idea where it's going to be this year, but yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Yeah, Ken Carey says, "With all the dogs you meet, why don't you carry dog biscuits?" Because I don't even carry much food for myself, let alone start dragging around dog biscuits. No, I can't bring just any of those type of stuff. I just bring the stuff that I really, really need. And if a dog really wants to bite me, then it's not gonna wait for me to open up a bag and bring out a dog biscuit. It's gonna bite me anyway. But so far, nothing. No dogs are biting me, so I think all's fine. GE says, "Do you think your number plate got stolen?" No, I don't. I got a lot of people saying, "No, it must have been stolen, must have been stolen." I am very confident that it did not get stolen because when I left in the morning, like the only place where it can get stolen is if I park the bike and I'm not there. So that's at a hotel or a place that I stayed. And I figured out where I kind of maybe lost it, and in the morning when I left the hotel, it was still on the bike, and after it wasn't. So there is just no way that it got stolen while I was riding in on some dirt track. It's impossible. So I'm very confident that it fell off and I lost it. Use radio. Don't know what that means. Savan Hoft says, "How did your family and friends react when they found out that you were motorbiking solo around the world? Thanks for the endless hours of great content. Thanks." Nobody was surprised because I've been traveling for the last 10 years almost all the time. So yeah, I've been on a previous travel when I was 23. I traveled for 2.5 years. Not by motorcycle then, so the motorcycle thing is new, but I've always traveled a lot. Yesterday I counted and I've almost been to 80 countries now, and most of them by myself. So it's something that I've always loved doing and still love doing. And so yeah, my friends and family were just like, okay, yeah, of course. There she goes again. They were not surprised. I'm just reading the all the things that you're saying. Marry me. No, thank you. Bill McFarlane says, "How much further south will you go before starting north?" I love helmet hair. Well, I will go as south as I can until the end of the road. And then I go back up north as the plan. Anthony O'Regan says, "Do you talk to yourself all the time after all the commentary you've done on the road?" Yeah, maybe I do talk to myself a little bit, or to the bike. Yeah, maybe I do that a little bit. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. What time is it now? Okay, I'll just do a couple of more questions and then I need some more water, I think. I've just been blabbing for an hour and a half now. Oh yeah, Rabindra Das says, do you get people who recognize you while you are on the road? So far, not so many. I've had it in the past. I got recognized in Istanbul, really random, and in a few places. Um, but I'm really happy. To be honest, I do not want to be recognized. It makes me extremely uncomfortable, really, because that's just this weird thing that if I get recognized, sometimes people they feel they really know me because of all the videos, but I have no idea who you are, right? So it's extremely weird situation when somebody's like, "Hey, hello, oh, it's so amazing to see you," and I'm like, "You're a total stranger to me." I don't really know how to react. Then it makes me a little bit, I don't know, I find it a little bit awkward. So I really hope that nobody recognizes me on the way. For me, I like it way more, and yeah, interactions with local people are. It's so everything is so much better if people, if they are, how you say that, if it's random meetings and people have no idea who you are, what you do, and I really prefer that, to be honest. Uh, oh, Venkat Reddy says, when will Norley t-shirt will come? Yeah, I don't know with this whole merchandise stuff. It would be, yeah, I could try to sell t-shirts and that kind of stuff to also try to generate income for the trip. But yeah, the same with the stickers. I mean, you have to outsource it, right? Because I cannot print these t-shirts and send them to everybody and then do this. Yeah, so you have to outsource it, and yeah, with the stickers, I don't make any money really, or 10 cents per sticker, and I don't know with the t-shirts how to set it up, and yeah, I don't know. It's a whole thing. I haven't really had time to, I don't know, look into that kind of stuff. Uh, Bharat Singh Raghav says, which engine oil do you use? Whatever is available. I try to use whatever is recommended by Royal Enfield, but sometimes you just can't get that stuff, and it also depends a bit if you're riding in a very cold country or a warmer country. So I just try to get whatever I can get my hands on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tom S says, you prefer meeting somebody that doesn't know you because their reaction is genuine. Yeah, exactly that. And that's also sometimes, I know that many of you really like the interactions with the locals, and I try to record that if I can. But the problem is also if I have a camera in my hand and I am having a conversation with a local, that camera just changes the entire dynamics. And sometimes I just want to have a genuine conversation with somebody. And if I whip out a camera, it's lost. It's different. It just changes it. So if I can record a conversation that I'm having and I have a camera on my helmet or something is on and recording and people don't realize it, it's a different conversation than when you have the camera here and you're like, okay, now we're gonna have a chat, and you know you're looking at the camera, and it's just different. Yeah, I don't know where I was gonna go with this story, but um, uh-huh. Hevis Finn says, how you organize bike maintenance on your trips. I don't really organize it. If I can find a Royal Enfield dealer, I try to go there. But since I left Buenos Aires, there's no Royal Enfield dealers in this part of Argentina, for example. But yeah, my bike is, and it's pretty new, so I don't really have to worry about big things at this moment. And second of all, my bike is pretty easy on the mechanics, So if I need an oil change or something like that, then any mechanic can do that. I don't need a specific Royal Enfield mechanic to do that for me. And then, yeah, some basic maintenance I do it myself, like I take care of the chain and that sort of thing. Let me see. Okay, mighty cycling adventurer, more of these live streams. Okay, I'll try if I'm not so nervous. Okay, I see that a lot of the questions that are coming in, I've actually already answered them in the beginning of this chat. There's not so much new coming in anymore. So if you missed the beginning, then I think I'll try to make sure that this video comes on the channel after it's finished. So then, what was I gonna say? You can watch it back, and then hopefully your question is answered there. Yeah, I don't really see many yet. Okay, one more. TL auto chain oiler. Are you using it? Is it working fine? Yes, it's working fine. It saves me a lot of hassle of lubing the chain all the time. I just pull the plunger and then that's it. So that's working really well. Your internet connection is slow. Sorry, I can't make it any faster. Yeah, Darien Gap again. I already answered that one. Nigel, do you have an alcoholic drink on your travels? No. Of course not. Except that one time in, where was I? Armenia, where I had a tiny sip of vodka, which was offered to me by some, what were they herding? Sheep or something? Cows? But that was an exception, obviously. Okay. I think I'm gonna end the live chat now. Yeah, I hope that I answered some of your other questions and what I said before. If I didn't, then please check out the website or look back at this live chat because I'm pretty confident I answered most of them. So I hope you enjoyed this live chat, even though the quality apparently was not so good all the time. And yeah, I think it was nice talking to you, even though I'm talking to, a camera. But yeah, I just hope that I answered some of the questions, because that is why I started doing these live sessions, because I get so many questions on YouTube or Instagram, and I really want to answer all of them, but I just can't anymore. It's just too many. And yeah, I wouldn't be writing anymore if I would answer all the questions all the time, because I would just be sitting behind my computer and answering questions. So that's why I started doing this, hopefully to answer some of the questions. So yeah, I would say that was it for today. I hope you liked this live chat. And if you did, please give me a big thumbs up. I don't know if that's actually possible on the live chat. Anyway, I'll see you soon. The next video will be out then in 2 days. So that will be on Sunday. There will be the next video on the channel. So